Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Akiba's beat. I'm going to warn you right now, I hate this game. I legitimately think this is one of the worst games I've played this year, for way more reasons than one, and we're going to get into that, but if you're one of those people who don't like the videos where I basically spend the entire video just bashing the game, then there's your warning. We're gonna load my game up. Well, we're gonna load one of my games up, then we're gonna load another one of my games up. So, this save that I'm about to load up will let you hear some of the voice acting. And while I can't demonstrate the problems with the voice acting, at the same time, to at least give you a small idea of what we're working with here. The game does have the Japanese voices, but I went with the English voices, and I feel like an idiot for doing that. And I would swap to the Japanese voices if I planned on playing more, but I do not plan on playing more, so hopefully when this loads, and by the way, the load times in this game are really damn annoying, hopefully the cutscene will start. I'll probably end up starting talking halfway through it, because the cutscenes in this game are really fucking long for no discernible reason. Any time now, game? Any time now? I think we just passed the 30-second mark on the loading time. Yep. It's a game made in Unity, by the way, and considering that, the performance is actually okay, but we'll get onto that shortly. Or longly, if this takes any longer to load. Jesus Christ. Come on. Any time now. That was like a minute. That was seriously like a minute. That's bad. Cutscene.
What's happening? We only just got back and already there's a delusion eating away at reality right in front of us.
Okay, cool. Time to go home.
What are you saying? We need to investigate this right away.
Wait.
Come on, Asahi. We're here anyway. We really should look into this.
But I'm so tired. Who's there? I'm so tired. I'm hearing things.
There's another cutscene right after this, and I'm just going to go straight to it. If I remember the way to the other bloody cutscene, I think I have to just, yeah, if I cross here, then immediately come up this way. It should start the next part of the cutscene pretty much as soon as I get there.
Any way you slice it, it's a delusion creeping its way into reality.
But what do we do? Do we just go in?
No, we go home. I'm at my limit here. If I see a delusion coming my way, I'm using it as a pillow.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think of how exhausted you must be.
Don't apologize to him. Only a NEET would lose to petite, dainty girls like us in the stamina department.
Stop trying to blame everything on me being a NEET. You're the one who woke me up at the butt crack of dawn. Besides, I don't see any Delusionscape doors around anywhere, do you?
Wait, are Delusionscape entrances that hard to find?
Oh, that's right. We haven't really filled you in on how this works. Let me give you the short version. Delusionscape entrances only appear when the deluser's heart is thrown out of balance. So our job is to figure out who our deluser is and rattle their cage a little, so to speak.
Oh, I see now. That's why you guys were looking for me before, too, then.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Ryu. I didn't mean to stir up any painful memories.
Not at all. I'm feeling good about working with you.
Alright, I'm done listening to this voice acting, so I gotta take the earphone out and start talking. So, the weird thing about all these cutscenes is, it uses the live 2D technology some games use, like, Kankol Kai, and the live 2D technology is just weird because
No way.
they look like they should all be standing still, but instead they're just rocking back and forth, and it's the weirdest effect, and it's rubbing me the wrong way so much. Especially the girl in the middle, like, she would get so dizzy after just constantly moving her head back and forth like that during all this talking, and it's just, oh man, it just looks weird. I don't understand it. Also of note is that when animations move in and out of the scene, which happens sometimes, you'll notice that there's actually vertical tearing going across the middle of the screen because their top half will get detached from their bottom half and it'll just move really weirdly. And yeah, the performance in this game isn't particularly fantastic, but all credit to it. In the actual combat, it holds up, and that's where the only place it really needs to. But yeah, story time. It's Persona again. That is pretty much all it is. You're in Akiba. You are a shut-in NEET who is completely unlikable to the point where you get stuck in a Groundhog Day loop as part of the plot, and your friend emails you every morning telling you, get to this place, don't be late, let me know if you can't come. And instead of him actually bothering to remember to email his mate every time, he just blocks his fucking number. This guy is entirely unlikable. Everybody in this cast is entirely unlikable, both in voice and in writing, because the writing almost feels bloody patronizing. It's weird. Like, it seems to be making fun of everything. Well, almost everything video game related. Even the tutorial is like, oh, duh, you've played a video game before, so you know to use the control stick to move. Seriously, it says something like that. And it does that throughout the entire tutorial. And it feels like the most patronizing thing I've played in a long time. I know you're not going to see much of it based purely on this little bit of dialogue that I'm showing you right here, but it's just creepy how shit it is. And as I said before, the story is a bit Persona-y. You have to find these delosers who, again, a bit patronizing, don't you think? They're a little bit mentally unstable, and they end up creating delusions that leak into the real world, which is Akiba, and these delusions are more or less dungeons, and we're going to go check them out later. But for now, we're going to go and have a look at this side quest up here. Wait, no, it's not the side quest up here. Do I have to go home first? I do. Which means it's more than a perfect time to actually load the game I made earlier, because loading the game I made earlier is already back at home and then back out into the field. So we're going to do that just to save 30 seconds. But yeah, the story, as I said before, it's Persona. You go into these dungeons, you get to the end of them, and they're literally just like dungeons with doors at the end. You go through the door, you go to the next floor, and when you're about to go onto the floor with the boss, you'll get stopped in front of the door, and that's when the character you're going along to help with their problem at the time will decide to give you their life's eulogy, and it's written really badly. It's very unengaging, it comes out of nowhere, and it has about the hitting effectiveness of a feather duster. It's not anywhere near enjoyable, at least in my personal view. And you just heard the most annoying fucking character in the entire game. The bloody Teddy proxy they got going here, whose name I can't even be fucked to remember, but it's in here in the menu here. Pinkun. Pinkun is a douche. An absolute douche, and I absolutely hate his voice, I hate his lines, I hate everything about him. He is the most annoying fucking thing in the entire universe. Yep, see, there he is again. You will hear these voice lines over and over and over, and they are not funny the first time, they're not funny the 100th time. They're crap. They're absolute crap. So, I can get a reuse sub-event here, which these are basically just like... They are side quests. I was going to say they're more like social links, but they're not really like social links. You just do them, and you get rewards for them. They're literally just fetch quests that go around the entire city. So, I'll just leave that playing in the background a little bit, and I can explain just what the bloody hell it is. It really is just fetch quests. Like, this entire city here, this entire city of Akiba exists to be one fetch quest world. That's all it is as far as I can tell so far. I've only played 2.5 hours of this, so this might change in the future, but in the first 2.5 hours, all this city has existed to do is be a thing that gets you between point A and point B. And they introduce fast travel like an hour in, so you never need to bother walking around the city. It's just... It really does just exist to be a fetch quest thing. Can I, screw it, I'm gonna skip the rest of this. Since we're on a side quest, we're not gonna be able to actually do anything until we... We're not gonna actually be able to do anything until we go and do this, side quest. Because apparently the game does that for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why that's a thing. Try to obtain a concert ticket. I'm guessing I have to go down there to the station plaza. Thankfully, I can fast travel. And again, there's really no point showing you around Akiba, because here's the thing about Akiba in this game. Now, well, this game and compared to the other games that Acquire has made. Acquire made this. Acquire are the people who made Shin Obito 2, Akiba's Trip 2, and, well, here it was just called Akiba's Trip. But yeah, the problem is that with Akiba's Trip, you could go around the city. You could find things like pamphlets on the ground. You could see trailers playing up on a screen or something. You can see things like
Asahi?
you can see things like just all the actual shops. Like, they represented a bunch of the actual shops from Akihabara, and you could go and buy stuff from them, and they would sell you like relevant stuff. Now, I wasn't that big of a fan. I'm just gonna see where the hell I need to go next, because this is literally all this is. You find where you need to go, and then you just head in that general direction, or you just fast travel. I'll just walk this time so you can see a little bit more of the city. But yeah, as I was saying, it's really disappointing to see them go from Akiba's Trip all the way down to Akiba's Beat, which is, it's literally just a backdrop. You have shops you can go to, but it's the same shop, just copied and pasted like 10, 15 times over. Like, I can walk into this shop here, for example, and it will sell me exactly the same stuff that I get sold at any other clothes shop. Same thing with the PP shop. Don't ask me why it's called PP, but we'll get to that shortly. It's just a massive disappointment, and not to mention that the city looks like crap. It doesn't look very good at all. The textures aren't great. There's no actual humans wandering around except you and quest givers, and even then some of the quest people is just... Hang on, I need to hit the menu again. I keep thinking it's square for some reason. Right, it's just across this road and into the next area. Oh, no, it's not even into the next area. It's just right here. But yeah. It really is disappointing. I mean, then again, I am a fan of the Yakuza series, and Yakuza, while not entirely being based on like a real city, at the same time really does make it feel like a real city. This just feels fake. It just feels like a fake backdrop, and it has absolutely nothing in it that's worth your time. You could literally play this game entirely via menus. It could be a Persona 3 portable if it wanted to be, and it would probably actually help, because it would mean you don't have to wander around going through all these ridiculous load screens just to do all these bloody fetch quests. Yes, that bloody Pinkuru never stops talking. I wish I could skip this. It really is just a fetch quest. I shouldn't have even done it. The only reason I really took this up is to tell you what I did for the first side quest that I found. Oh, Christ, I have to go somewhere else now? Great, back at the station. Well, I can fast travel there, so I don't care. Station. Let me tell you about the first side quest. I had gone and I had equipped all my people with the best stuff I could find in the shops. So, I was more than ready to go on in and just work with it, right? Then I went and did the first side quest because I'm like, oh, that might give me some useful equipment. It might give me something unique, I don't know. It gave me a hat that I had already gone and bought in the frickin' shop. So I literally carrying around this extra hat, and it's just, bloody hell. This is just so depressing. Literally just going through the effort of doing a side quest and having it be an item that you've already gone and bought. It's retarded. Okay, we actually got an item. I wasn't paying attention. That item actually got unlocked in the shops, but it may well have been. But yeah, there you go. That's it. That's literally it. There is a lot of text in this game, and to their credit, it's all voiced. Not to their credit, though, the voice acting is shit. Funnily enough, like, as I said before, this guy's got, like, a friend, and his friend has all... Like, I could have sworn that the two had exactly the same voice actor. I'm not even joking. The voice acting was so close, I had trouble telling the two apart. It was really fucking weird. Just, I cannot stress enough how weird it was. Probably wouldn't have sounded the same if I went with the Japanese voices though, which to be fair is actually kind of funny given the circumstances. Item shop. You can buy and sell stuff. All really basic stuff. Including, There's something up here. Yeah, the life cans. Restore a single ally's HP by 30%, 60%, you know. I hate it when games do that. I hate it when they don't scale up their healing stuff and stuff like that, because it just makes the game feel cheaper than it actually is. This is a clothing shop. You come here to buy stuff that gives you defense. Oh yeah, look at that. Comb headband. One of the things that I would have bought if I'd actually gone to the effort of equipping my guys as soon as the items were available, which is dumb. You can also come here to get your computer parts, and your computer parts give you just extra stats and stuff, nothing too out of the ordinary. Should I bother? Yeah, I'll bother. I'll buy these just so I have, just so I can swap them out while I'm in the menus. That's literally it for this whole thing. There is also trading cards, which I haven't come across yet, which apparently you get 2 of them, you put them together, and they give you a couple of special abilities, like SP's drained at half the rate or stuff like that. It doesn't really seem to be particularly interesting at all. So let's just do our menu diving. Items, exactly what you expect. Skills, almost exactly what you expect. This is where you come to equip skills that you've learned via leveling up and stuff like that, and you can equip them to your particular analog stick, so that you can equip them to an analog stick direction, so that when you press in that direction and press the attack button, or well, the special button, you can do that. PP is a second set of items. I don't know why they I don't know what this is about, but whatever. So you just come here and you swap out all this stuff, and you just get stronger. It doesn't really seem to do that much for you in the grand scheme of things, which is unfortunate, because that just kind of sucks, really. Okay. There. There's also typical equipment. You can change your clothes for extra defense and stuff like that, but we'll leave it on what I've got for now. Music is a little odd. You can come here and change the song that plays in the background of the battles, but the thing is, this actually changes the way the battles work, but we'll get into that shortly. You can come to tactics just to change how your people will behave when they're not being controlled directly by you. And it's all pretty basic stuff. Just nothing too out of the ordinary. The AI works okay in this game. I don't really have a problem with it. It's like one of the few things I don't have a problem with. You can come here to check all the sub-events and the progress of the main story that you've done so far, but there's really not that much to see over here. So yeah. Back out of that. Records, which is just your stats and everything that you found so far. Nothing particularly out of the ordinary. And your options menu. So you've got a few settings here. I've got the difficulty on normal, but frankly, I don't think even if I put it up to like imagine difficulty, I would not care about this combat system in the slightest, or your sound options and your button configuration. Notably, you can actually change buttons in all 3 places, which is kind of neat. I only do it for combat though, because the combat in this game is kind of Trails-like, and we're about to get to that. This is not the default set by any means. I'll hit start just to show you what the default sets are. So there you go, those are the default buttons. But I'm going to swap it back to the way I had it before we do anything, because if I don't, I am going to completely forget all my bloody controls. And that is the triangle button. Yes, that's right, that's how I have my controls. Now let's actually go into the dungeon and do some combat, which I'll have to do via fast travel, because, oh, I know, I'm actually fairly close to it. Never mind, let's go this way. And wait for the loading times. They do say the game auto-saves, but at the same time, you still need to manually save if you want to load up properly, so yeah, it's not great. Yeah, it's down this way, right? Isn't it? No, is it actually back up here? Great, I've gone and lost my sense of direction already. No, that's not the right dreamscape. Where the hell is the dreamscape that I was at previously? Alright, is that one up there? Yeah, I remember now. Go, me.
Oh, good, a safe spot.
Shut up, Pinkin. I don't even have my headphones in. Why am I telling him to shut up? I can't even hear him. Here we go.
We gonna go in?
Hopefully I'll be able to go into more than just one floor of this. I can imagine a sort of mid-range roadblock coming up just because I decided to go into this dungeon while I'm recording, but we will see. Loading times. Alright, I have a Blake dialogue scene to go through here.
So, what kind of delusions?
Hang on, let me...
Yeah,
Hey,
Tunic,
That's why.
so is
Hannah.
well.
If I just skip this
not a-
enough.
Junie, explain your neat words.
Yeah,
And
pretend. Ow!
come on.
Well, I wanted to let you hear the, I wanted to let you hear the voice lines of the most annoying character in the entire game, but we didn't get to hear that very much. So anyway, away we go. Time to actually get into some combat. It works like most other RPGs of this type. You get hit from behind, they get a free attack on you. They hit you, you hit them from behind, and you will get some free damage in. It's nothing particularly out of the ordinary. So anyway, here we go. This is the combat. It's Trails. Not Trails, sorry. It's Tails, not Trails. You know, Tales of Hearts are and stuff like that. Basically, by default, you're locked onto an enemy and you're stuck on a 2D plane, and you can attack, and you can use, like, the triangle button to do... Well, not the triangle button for me, but you can use your skill button to do special attacks, and those cost SP. And you can hold a button to free run around the area, you can swap your target, and you can use items in the middle of the field, change tactics and all that. Nothing... It's just, there's nothing particularly interesting until you get to, like, a boss fight, and even then it doesn't remain that interesting, because here's the problem with it. The actual combat feel in this game. Now, combat feel is a little bit hard to explain, but at the same time I'm going to have to if I want to explain why I hate this game's combat so much. The combat in this game doesn't feel like you're doing anything. Like, it looks a little bit weird. If you pay really close attention, you'll notice that it looks a little bit weird. It looks like you just swing through the enemy. And you pretty much do. There's no, like, realistic knockback or anything related to, like, the actual weapon. It's just weird like that. Like, it really does all the time feel like you're just swinging through the enemy. And you have these really canned and preset combos which are really damn annoying because you can only do a certain amount of attacks, and it seems the amount of attacks you can do changes on the fly depending on how the game feels today. So the combat, and considering that you have limited SP to do your special attacks with, the game just kind of devolves into wait for them to attack, go in and do all your attacks until you can't move anymore, and rinse and repeat. You can block, and if you're blocking, you'll take less damage, and you can dodge using the left stick while you're blocking, but there's really no point to that when you can literally just like go into free run mode and then just run away and then re-lock onto the target and come right back. You want to be free running around actually, because especially with the bosses, because the bosses have massive attacks and these huge patterns, and you need to be able to dodge them, and you can't dodge them while you're locked onto the 2D plane, so you might as well just be free running all the time. And it's just dumb. It really is dumb just to lock you onto a 2D plane like that. I didn't like it when Tails did it, and I don't like it when this game does it either. This game just feels like shit more often than that game does, so it's less forgivable here. You can swap between what characters you're controlling via the D-pad, and yeah, this is our spellcaster, so it's even less impressive in this game. Like, the magical effects aren't that great either. They just don't look that good. The game does run alright, but the designs and the general feel and the ambience of everything is just not that pleasant. Shut up. I have heard your lines so many times before already. I've only been through 2 dungeons and you hear that voice line every time and it just grates. It just grates like crazy. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Also, I don't know why that thing spots me immediately as soon as I get within earshot. Kind of annoying, actually, but... Well, there you go. So you can change your tactics and your skills and you can run for it and all that. But there is something else you can do. And that is activate the... burst mode. Now, the regular burst mode is nothing special. It just ups your damage. But there's a secondary burst mode that you can do once you've done the first half. And the secondary burst mode lasts depending on how long the song that you're doing is. So, you can use... They give you 2 versions of each song. They give you the TV size version and the regular version, which is a little bit of a weird thing, but anyway. And once you've got the circle on the bottom left filled up completely, you can start the song and you can just start hitting people, and when the chorus comes in, you'll get even more bonus damage than you would from the regular music mode. You also get infinite action points, which are... I think they're the things that determine how long your combos can be. But that doesn't seem to be the case most of the time. Also, just while my mind's on it, there's really no point in blocking and dodging, because as you can see, it actually takes away some of your action points. So... It's just a really dull system. I feel like I'm just swinging my sword at thin air most of the time. Sure, these enemies are actually reacting a lot better than the previous ones did, but it still doesn't feel any different. It isn't anywhere near as satisfying. I find myself... I find this combat to be intensely boring.
Now you've done it.
And you have to do a fair amount of it. And this doesn't really change when it comes to the bosses either. It's still exactly the same combat, just the enemies are... Well, there's usually like 1 boss enemy. It's bigger, and it has wider attack ranges. That's it. That's all you get. And it's just dull. I find myself getting ridiculously bored of this combat after like 10 minutes of it. Since you only have like... I mean, you can do different kinds of attacks by holding any of the directional buttons, but I don't think there's a reason to. I don't think there is. It doesn't seem to be anywhere near as effective. Well, it's about the same effectiveness as just beating the ever-loving bejesus out of them with the square button normally. So, yeah. It's not great. Better just to... You're better off just to spam your strongest SP abilities and take along a bunch of the bloody cans, because you get a lot of money in this game. Then again, I may have just spent a little bit longer grinding than I might have expected to in the first dungeon, but still, you get a lot of money in this game. So it's not... You're never really strapped for cash, and you don't have much to buy with the cash anyway, so it's not like it matters too much. Saki does not need healing. She's got 500 health still. She's fine. Yes, this damn thing insists on calling the main character Dingus. All the time. See, Dingus, again.
What kind of skill is this?
It's just, it's really dull. Like, there's nothing that's enjoyable about it in my view. I find it very, very hard to get anything out of this game. The story is just a downright clone of Persona, and it's the most annoying thing ever. Well, not really a clone of Persona, but it just feels like they're trying to mimic Persona and just don't know how to do it. The voice actors are all pretty damn bad. The main character is unlikable. All the other characters felt like going on a bloody eulogy at any moment, and they're just not that well-designed characters. The combat is a pain in the ass. It is dull, it is quite repetitive, and it doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, I've spent like, even for whiffy combat, like, I love Dynasty Warriors and Gundam Breaker, so if I love games like that aren't exactly, like, top-tier combat, it'd be like, what? I mean, I like games like Dark Souls as well, where you actually do need to put some thought into your moves and actions and all that, but a game like this, it's just... yeah. I do not like it. And when I like games like Dynasty Warriors and Gundam Breaker, where their combat really isn't too in-depth, saying that this game is just an empty shell of what feels like another game's combat is... that's pretty bad. Come on. Oh, I'm out of SP, so I'm gonna need to drink some bloody soda. Yeah, I played 2.5 hours of this, and I was bored silly. I didn't want to play it anymore. Every other game looked more appealing than this one. Hell, Revenant Saga was more appealing than this. That is depressing. Where the hell is the door? Right, so I have to cross all the way over here, then go up and around. At least I hope that's the right way. Well, there's a monster there, so I assume, yes, this is the right way. Whoop. Never mind, apparently I got back attacked from that somehow. I'll try and get to the boss, but knowing our luck, I'll probably end up not being able to get to him, and I won't... I do want to show off this whole music thing, but if I start it up in a battle like this, you won't get to see the full effect of it, but it really isn't that different. It just makes the screen a bit dubsteppy, and yeah, it just does more damage. That's really all that happens. Yes, I know you smell treasure. Also, it's funny. You going through the door, better be careful if you do. Funnily enough, she'll say this even... well, I don't know if it's a he or a she. I'm not even gonna guess. Because apparently every time I fucking guess, I get it wrong. There's a save point here. I might as well use it. But even if you're going backwards through the dungeon, you get screwed. Like, oh, right, they're all at max stats already. I don't know how that happened. Maybe they leveled up. Okay, is this an actual boss fight or what?
Hold on.
No, probably not, but I'll just skip through the entirety of this, and... oh, what was I saying? The thing will say every time, even if you're going backwards through the dungeon, or even if you're going out, hey, can I stand behind you inside the dangerous dungeon? Yeah, it's dumb. It's really dumb. I don't know what they're going for. Wait for the bloody game to load again, and another cutscene, of course. Wait, we ran for it? Why did we run for it? Seriously, look how much bloody text and stuff there is. What do I have to do? Leave the delusion scape. Wonderful. So I don't even get to fight the boss. Unbelievable. Alright. Let me change the tactics of my friends so that they don't attack if I can. Nope. They're all... alright, just everybody tank. Everybody fucking tank, and we will fight this thing. Three opponents, so if I do this... the song starts up, I have infinite action points, even though it doesn't really affect my combo in any way. And once the chorus kicks in, you get a higher damage boost. But it doesn't really matter, it's still the same dull combat, it just looks a little flashier. And that's it. That's literally all there is to it. I could not care less. This game is crap. I honestly don't find any redeeming values or qualities in it whatsoever. I find it a dull, boring slog of a game. I find it to be rather rip-offy in comparison to pretty much everything else. It's worse. Like, Akiba's Trip, despite being a flawed game. I'll be fair, I'll call it a flawed game. Despite it being a flawed game, I would play that any day over this. That game's combat was interesting. That game's combat was fun. That game's environment was actually explorable and enjoyable. That game, well, it did kind of have bad English voice acting, but it wasn't as horrible in the writing areas as this either. That game was ahead of this one in so many ways, and I feel bad for Xseed having to localize this one because I think they're owned by the people who published this in Japan. I think they've got some weird sort of connection with the people who made this game and published this game in Japan to the point where they had to end up localizing this, because there are so many other choices that they could have made for games to localize on the Vita or the PS4 or whatever, and they got stuck doing this. I feel bad for them for that, because I can imagine some of them playing this and thinking, I don't really want to localize this, and it kind of feels like that. Like, some of the writing feels like nobody really wanted to be there. But I don't know, maybe I'm just imagining things because I'm so goddamn bored. I don't even know why I'm still playing, to be perfectly honest. I've said everything I wanted to say. I just couldn't care less. Yeah, you know what? Screw this. Screw everything. Screw playing this any longer than I have to. This game is crap. I do not recommend it. Play anything else. Even Revenant Saga. Revenant Saga is better than this. That's kind of impressive. Well done, Revenant Saga. Oh boy. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.